is Chicago Now, 11:34. So, Elizabeth, I kind of prompted you with this question earlier. You've heard of quiet quitting before.
Yes.
How about quiet firing?
I have no idea.
Okay, well, here to break it down is Barry Garapetian, is a former financial advisor at Morgan Stanley with nearly 4 decades on Wall Street. And now he's a founder of Mag 7 Consulting, where he coaches young professionals through navigating their careers. Barry, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Barry.
It is great to be here, ladies. How are you?
Very good. We're curious to know, I guess from your experience, what is quiet firing?
Well, it's the things that are invisible that are done with body language and all kinds of things in a corporate structure. Meetings, but more importantly, there's a way to get around all of that. And it starts with a mindset of being relentlessly useful. And in other words, be that person that has the attitude of doing a whole bunch of things. And it's something that is not necessarily natural in the bureaucratic world, but I'm finding that if you have that mindset to be extremely value creating, good things will happen. And there's specific things I can share with you on what that means and how we do it.
Go for it. Share away.
Well, first things first is I like well, first of all, 99% of what you want to look at is find people who are absolutely the 1%ers who are actually doing the work amazingly. Those are the folks that you want to focus on. So with that being said, what else can you be doing that's different than what they're doing? So I call these things lightning strikes, creating intentional acts of service where you're exceeding expectations. And what does that mean? That means that you have to be thinking about other people, called the platinum rule. There's the golden rule, which is you treat people how you want to be treated. No, the platinum rule is you treat other people how they want to be treated. Oh. The game is about them. And if I could find something out about you, Elizabeth, or you, Gabby, on what you like, I will create something to exceed an expectation. And that would be one particular strategy done organically with ethos and enthusiasm. It could be a handwritten note. It could be a note like this with a wax seal to someone that you met. As simple as that. So, handwritten notes, we used to do a lot of those back in the day. Yeah. We still do them. Very few people do handwritten notes today. Why? AI. Quicker, faster, more efficient. Go back to old school. So there's lots of little things we can do, but you have to differentiate and be different.
And so that's all for the employee. Those are tips for the employee. Like, always be thinking outside the box. What can I do differently, maybe more efficiently, right?
Exactly. And if I am thinking of a boss, they have a family. Do they have kids? Get to know the family, get to know the kids. Maybe there's a book you can send them. Maybe there's something you can do to add value to the boss's family. You will ascend quicker and faster if you figure out what they're all about. That is the game. And this is not, you're not a robot, so it's about creating value.
Barry, this is such good advice.
It is, but
My
it also,
goodness.
like, if I found out that, Gabby over here sent my boss a book, I'd be like, oh, you're a brown noser. Mm-hmm. So where's the line?
There's a way to do it that's very intentional. If Gabby's boss was a golfer, and Gabby got a specific book on golf and highlighted a chapter and a page with a handwritten note, I thought you might be interested in this. Take a look at this. She's educating. So you frame it about the other person. It can be perceived that way, but if you're playing offense in a good way, you are truly looking to help people. And it's not about reciprocity. It's doing it because it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Right?
So
and remember, to win the game, you need 5 positive episodes to 1 negative to thrive. And for people who are angry, unhappy, there's a lot of negative stuff. This is a piece of the pie that makes you happy, doing nice things for other people. So that would be a strategy, absolutely.
So what if you are already doing, so much and you don't really have time to do that little bit of an extra? Is there some advice that you'd give to that person?
Yes, I would get your calendar out and time block. There's a time where you are doing this kind of energy on the weekends or latter part of the day, such as writing hand notes. I'll light a candle latter part of the day and I'll get out my stuff and I'll write an awesome hand note to someone I just met or someone in the office that they did something really, really cool. it's just not done. So you need to make it a priority and make it intentional. This is not an afterthought. And yes, you want to climb the ladder quickly, but how you do it is with people. And helping other people to get to where they want to be is the quickest and best way you're going to be in a good place.
So quiet firing, how do I know I'm being quietly fired?
There's so many different ways. Obviously, not going to meetings, not being invited to meetings, giving you responsibilities that are less than, that are way, you're doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing. I find it's a lot of little things, and you can sort of feel it. But more importantly, is you can stay out of that trap by playing offense, and by smiling, and showing up on time, and doing what you say, and finishing what you start. Those are pretty basic table stakes, and they teach that in school. But schools don't teach you how to be extraordinary. They don't teach you how to be great. This stuff you have to learn what I call healthy struggles, and you have to be in the game. So it's about really making intentional focus on helping your division, your boss, whoever it is, get to where they are, and you own it. And it's a mindset. It's an absolute mindset.
If you think you're being quietly fired, do you say something to your boss? And
Yeah,
what does that
would
sound like?
I would definitely bring it to their attention. I would say, listen, help me understand why you're doing this and this and this. Help me understand. I would frame it that way. What can I do to exceed your expectations? What can I do to make this revenue improve? The game is to improve the supervisor, the manager, the business. How do you do that? Well, it starts with a structure and a plan. You don't have to hide everything. Listen, I'm here to help you get to where you need to be. If you do that, hello,
So,
a lot of good things happening. I mean, really.
yeah.
Could you imagine an employee of yours saying, look, I want to help you, Elizabeth. I want to help you, Gabby, get to where you need to be. What do I need to do to make you look amazing? Think about that.
Yeah.
You would like them.
That is
That's for
the
sure.
way you want to roll. Absolutely.
So has this always been common, this kind of quiet firing, or is it something that we're now seeing based off people's management style, or the generation that we see now a lot of the times in management?
Just remember, the whole Gen Z game, 13 to 28, is a different game. Remember, the COVID hit, their EQ is most cases below average. Communication is not a strength. Yes, they're smart, they're bright, they're 4.0s, 4.5s, 5.0s, but you get a lot of these young folks in a job, they just don't have what is necessary. And I don't care what school you go to, okay? So the reality is EQ is huge. And where do you learn that? Do you learn it from your mom and dad? Do you learn it from coaches, mentors? You're certainly not learning a lot in school. So it's different. Every kid is different. Everyone is different. And I think it starts with one thing, it's self-belief. It's called the I believe button. And if you have that radical self-belief in yourself, it's a huge advantage. That is the game. The game is confidence. And how do you get it? You need to have a lot of successes and things that are going well. So you have to build that into your day.
A lot about confidence today, huh?
Yeah, a lot about confidence. No, I love your advice. This is really so interesting. So I would guess that you encourage people to have more conversations at the dinner table with their kids, even with your peers, and give them advice, because I think a lot of people are probably going through it or have that that sense like, oh, something's up at the office, but they're too afraid to say something.
But the talk at the dinner table should be, hey, what's the best thing that happened today? Share with me the best thing that happened today. Instead of saying, how was your day? What was the best thing that happened today? That's different.
That
You're
is
thinking
good.
about the most positive thing that happened in that day, and everyone goes around the table and shares. Not hard, but how often is that done?
Barry, I've got 3 kids, and I think I might have to start doing this, because you say, how was your day? And why do we always focus on, I almost, I don't know, I forgot the eggs, or, I was
So
late
true.
to work, or why do we always focus on that part of it? So that's great. I'm going to use that. I'm going to go home tonight. I'm going to ask my first
all
grader.
of that, I'll share this last comment. Practice going first. For any employee, be the first to say good morning. Be the first to say good afternoon. Be the first person to run over and keep that elevator door open, or get in the elevator and ask what floor, please. It demonstrates confidence. It demonstrates leadership. It's the white belt version of just being the best person you can be. It's so simple, but watch how many people actually do that.
Okay, Barry, I've learned so much from you. Barry Garabedian
Great
is the president and CEO of Mag 7 Consulting. Remember that, everyone. We will have you back on the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Barry.
My pleasure. Thank you all very much for what you guys do.
Okay. Next, we are talking pizza.